Alright. This is gonna be part 2 to What If Deku Was a Badass. I'm just here to say that on the last video, there were some people saying that, oh yeah, this story is ass, doesn't make sense. Yeah, I kind of understand that. But, yeah. Try to just make it a little bit different, but anyway, you don't really care. So anyway, let's start the video. So, last time I left it off, Izuku had just won the Heroes vs. Villains with Female Overhaul, and he had defeated Bakugo and Kirishima. Now, let's start this off. So we go to the perspective of Female Overhaul. She wakes up in Recovery Girl's office, and she goes, huh? What the hell? And she goes, Recovery Girl goes, oh, you're finally awake. Okay, well, you may go back to your dorm if you want to, or you can stay here for a rest, but only for about 10 minutes. He goes, what happened? When you came in, you were knocked out. There was a boy with white hair taking you here. It must have been Izuku. But wait, who knocked me out? She says, oh, I don't know. I'm gonna find that boss and kill them. So she exits the thing and rushing to the UA dorms. She practically blasts the door open, just kicks it open. She sees Bakugo and Kirishima playing video games on the couch. She rushes over to Bakugo, pick him up by the shirt and says, was it you who knocked me out? He says, no. Why you, what? She just drops him. She picks up Kirishima. Were you the one who knocked me out? He said, no, you defeated me before you even got knocked out. He says, there only leaves one person then. She rushes off and Bakugo goes, damn, she's crazy. Kirishima says, yeah, I know. Yeah, she's pretty much speed walking to Izuku's room. She knocks on the door. Fucking messed up the story a little bit. She's about to knock on the door, but then Izuku opens it and he says, oh, hello, Kai. Because I'm pretty sure that's why I just kept her name like that. She says, hey, Izuku. He is currently right now at the door, shirtless, because why not? She says, were you the one who knocked me out in the Heroes vs. Villains exam? He says, yeah, sorry about that. I just had a personal vendetta with Bakugo. He says, oh, okay, it's fine. He says, oh, what are you doing? He says, oh, I really wasn't doing anything. I was just playing a bit of cards with myself, like solitaire, because I'm bored. Oh, okay. He says, would you like to join me? She says, oh, yeah, sure. But yeah, so they play a bit of cards. That's it, literally cards. But yeah, so the next few weeks, like after class, they hang out. Those two hang out for a little bit, just playing cards, developing a relationship. Oh man, I don't know. But yeah, eventually, one time when she's walking into the dorm room, she has a smile. She's ready to go play cards with Izuku. Talk about some other things as well. Some of the other girls say like Mina and Hagakure or whatever. Say, hey, Kai, where you going? She says, oh, I was just gonna play cards with Izuku. They all kind of get like a devilish grin, say, oh, mind if we join? She says, she kind of gets like a little bit of her happy attitude just kind of went away, and she says, oh, yeah, I guess so. And say, okay, yeah. All the girls follow her. As she's about to knock on the door, Izuku opens the room. He says, oh, hello, Kai, Hagakure, Momo, Su, Uraka, Jiro, Mina. What do you want? They say, oh, we came to play cards with you. He says, oh. He looks back and says, well, I don't think I have enough room. I think we might have to do it outside. They say, oh, okay. So they start playing on the giant-ass table they have for eating their dinner, because I'm pretty sure that's what they had in the dorm room. Now, when Kaminari, Sarah or Kirishima sees this, they say, oh, yeah, can we join? And yeah, long story short, eventually everyone in the dorm starts playing, and everyone loses to Izuku. And, they say, okay, how about we start betting money on this? Make it interesting. Kirishima says, a few people look at each other and they say, yeah, sure, why not? They say, okay, $1 at the start. And they place $1. Everyone puts $1 in. Izuku wins, so that's about like $23. I don't know how many people are in the class. And this continues on to the night until, most people go to bed. Well, a few people start going to bed. And yeah, Izuku went back to his room with about $200. Yeah, I felt like just adding that so, so the people in the dorm rooms could build a relationship, whatever, I don't know, who cares. Anyway, just wanted to extend the video time. But yeah, so a week later, after that had happened, Izuku brought in his hero uniform, saying that he just felt like he needed it that day. No one really bothered to question him after that. But eventually when Aizawa came into the room, he says, alright everyone, today we're going to be doing a field trip. Everyone's going, yay, a field trip. He says, yes, we'll be going to the USJ. And everyone goes, yeah, the USJ. And they go, wait, what's the USJ, Mr. Aizawa? Unforeseen simulations joint. We'll be training you in rescue training. You will have to save people from fires, sinking ships, earthquake zones, tornado zones, and etc. Now, change into your hero uniforms and get on the bus before I expel you all. Everyone starts rushing, grabs their stuff, and just walks to their thing. But yeah, so on the bus, when they're traveling, the same thing happens with Asu, asking people what their quirks are. Then eventually it gets to Izuku. She asks, Izuku, what's your quirk? It seems quite strange. He says, I guess it is. What's its name? Well, we didn't really have a name. I really got it tested. I just say I'm lucky. Oh, what does it do? Well, pretty much takes what I really want to happen and makes it happen any way possible. Be it that I don't want to get hit with a punch, so either the punch will change its trajectory, or I will move, not by my will. Oh, that's kind of cool. Yeah. It also allows me to win certain card games. Everyone gets kind of annoyed when they hear that. Yeah, but it just allows me to be lucky. Well, that's a pretty cool quirk. Everyone else's quirk is talked about, then yeah. But then when they get off the bus, Izuku kind of just has a feeling like, maybe we should leave that door unlocked. Like, he tells Aizawa, and Aizawa says, what for? Says, well, I just have a feeling that we probably should leave the door unlocked. What could happen, sir? Bird flies in? Doesn't really matter. Guess you're right, but, whatever. Can't be bothered arguing with you. He says, hey, 13, when we enter, can you leave one of the doors unlocked? Sure, Aizawa. Yeah, eventually they get in, and 13 starts her speech, saying that all quirks can be dangerous, yada yada yada. But eventually, Kirishima looks down, and he says, hey, Aizawa-sensei, do we have fake villains with us as well? Aizawa looks down, and he says, no. 13, protect the children, this is a villain attack. Kaminari, can you try and contact any heroes in the local area? Kaminari tries to use his little thing. He says, no, Aizawa, it's not working. He says, damn it. Ida, can you try and run to UA and then get as many teachers as you can, alright? Ida agrees, he runs out, and Aizawa starts running down, but not before Izuku throws a card. Now it goes flying, and it kind of looks like it's not going too fast, but then once it starts coming down, it builds up a lot of speed, going very fast. And then it hits Kirigiri in the neck with his metal thing as soon as he comes out. Now this card has a little red light on it, and when it, then when it looks at it, it explodes, knocking Kirigiri out of the fight for just a little bit. Now this means that none of the students will be transported to the different areas of the USJ, meaning that the other villains there mean that there's a lack of villains to defend against all the students at the bottom. And Kirikiri can't transport the villains there as well. But the villains there do what they can do. So they start shooting bullets with their fingers or whatever, long range attacks, I don't know. Yeah, so Izuku, he starts throwing his cards, so he's doing whatever. He's just doing it so he hopes that they don't kill them, and it doesn't end up killing him. It either hits them in the leg, severing some sort of muscle, making them fall to the ground and not able to fight. It either hits them, knocking them out, but yeah, I don't know. But eventually the bullets and whatever get too much, and Todoroki and Overhaul, they make an ice wall and an earth wall out of the stuff there. The bullets and other things aren't getting through this quite as easily, but it will break eventually. So everyone's hiding down there for a few minutes. The villains are advancing just a little bit. Izuku has a plan though. If he can get the leader, the villains will probably lose their confidence in this attack, meaning that they'll probably try and escape or get out of the USJ, and meaning that their focus will be lost so that they can be attacked easier. So he quickly steps out of the cover, tries to throw a card, but before that, a bullet is coming close to his head. And right as it's about to, go through his head, he moves and it just goes straight past, hitting the ground behind him. Now he throws the card, and instead of going for the leader as he wanted before, it goes for the guy who tried to shoot him. Now it starts spinning, picking up speed, and then it slices the guy's barrel of the sniper that he was using, rendering it utterly useless for long range. Now, Shigaraki says, "These brats are putting up more of a fight than we thought. Damn it. Nomu, try and kill that bastards." And the Nomu starts rushing forward, even trampling some of the villains, killing them. Shigaraki just laughing maniacally, ha 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 ha. This thing was intended to kill All Might. Blah blah blah. Now the Nomu's rushing up the stairs. Anyone's trying to stop it, such as, Overhaul trying to create spikes, it just simply smashed them away. I really don't know anyone else who's good at long range fighting in their class, maybe Oyama, but his laser really wouldn't do anything. But yeah. So eventually when it tries to fight Izuku, his punch is about to go for the head. It's about to hit, but then something in Izuku's body happens, like a cramp in his leg or whatever, forces him to go down. The punch utterly, just misses entirely. But when Naomi tries to swing across, something else happens, causing in his body, causing him to move and twitch out of the way. And this pretty much happens with the Nomu. It's pretty much like what happens with Ultra Instinct Goku. He's pretty much just dodging it without even, his body is just doing it by itself. But eventually, once that's done, the Nomu tries to go for another punch. Deku ends up jumping. He lands on the Nomu's arm quickly, then the Nomu tries to swing him off, but he jumps again, landing on the Nomu's shoulders, and he has his two little blades that he had before, and stabs the top of the Nomu's brain. He did not do this purposely, this was entirely his quirk. He really didn't have any control of what he was doing for this little moment. That's when the Nomu starts to fall down, and hits the ground with a thud. This is because it hit the vital area of the Nomu, what it actually needed. It didn't need its arm, it didn't need its legs, it didn't even need its torso, it just needed a head. But he disabled one of the most vital parts of the Nomu, causing it to just flop pretty much dead. He calmly walks off the Nomu, brushing off his shoulders, as if he had dust on it. But then he collapses to the ground, exhaustion, a bit of pain due to all the torn muscles and, fast and jagged movements that weren't really possible at that kind of speed. But yeah, eventually that's when Ida comes back with all the heroes. This includes All Might, Snipe, Midnight, Cementos, all the heroes that were there in canon. And because the number is taken down, All Might doesn't have to fight it, meaning that he can pretty much destroy all the villains like that. But before he can even get to Shigaraki, Kirigiri wakes up, yeah. And Shigaraki says, Kirigiri, we need to get out of here now. He says, yes, master. They escape, and unfortunately, but all the villains there are handled appropriately, with cops taking them into Tartarus, and it's a good day for them because they just got about 100 villains off the streets. But yeah, anyway, Recovery goes there and she says, well, does anyone need to be healed? A few people got like a little scrapes from bullets or things. They got healed. And she says, oh, what's with the boy there? Why is he on the ground? And what's that thing beside him? We don't know what that thing is. It just started attacking one of the guy's command. But the kid there, his name is Izuku. We don't know, but he just seems injured somehow. He says, well, I better go heal him now, shouldn't I? She quickly kind of shuffles there, and does her thing where she kisses Izuku, and she says, well, it should take him about a day or two to fully heal. That's when Izuku gets up, cracking his neck, his knuckles, stretching. He says, ugh, that hurt. He says, oh my, you're up already. Well, that's interesting. By any chance, do you have regeneration, quack boy? Sorry. She says, no, I'm just lucky, I guess. He says, well, that's an understatement. You should have been in the hospital for a day or two. Oh, okay. But yeah, so, anyway, after all that, a week has passed, and they got a week to to recover, due to the fact that not many people were actually injured this time, so they didn't get both weeks. Might watch that. But yes. But the next week they get told about the USJ. Not the USJ, the UA Sports Festival. Aizawa tells them that they should probably get ready for it, such as training their quirks or seeing if they can unlock any new abilities in a week. Everyone says, yes, sensei. He says, alright, you got the week. You don't have to come to class now. Go. Any facilities will be available to you, such as the gym, the library, blah, blah, blah. Heroes will be doing an hour session in the gym every day, showing you how to properly disable whatever, and blah, blah, blah. But then for the week, everyone trains, they do some of the hero things, and yeah. Now, onto the sports festival. Because everyone knew about this time, they arrived in their sports uniforms, and they pretty much just got into the bus quite easily. Aizawa didn't have to threaten them with expulsion. Now they quickly get to the thing, and they're in the waiting room. They hear all the classes getting called out, such as Class 1B, woo, yeah, clap, 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 yeah. Then it says Class 1A, woo! Like a lot more cheers than Class 1B or Class 1C or, all the other classes. Everyone finds it a little bit annoying in the other classes. They eventually walk out, and Midnight says, alright, can we have Class 1 representative Izuku Midoriya come up and give a speech? He says, what? I didn't have a speech. He just walks up sighing. He has his eyes closed. He says, come on, a speech. Okay. Hello, my name is Izuku Midoriya. I did not know that I'll be doing a speech today, but anyway, I hope everyone does their best in this sports festival, and I hope they all aim to come out on top. And he just walks up to the podium, and everyone's going, is that it? Well, it was pretty good, I guess. And Midnight says, well, after that, let's decide the first round. She does the spinny thing and it shows up at the obstacle course. Now, she says, alright, students, go line up at the front gate. Empress Mike's going, well, Aizawa, who do you think's gonna win this obstacle course? You have many front runners, but who are your top three? He says, well, my top three are probably from my class because I haven't seen any other classes in action. I would say Bakugo Katsuki, Shoto Todoroki, and Kai Shisaki. They have the best suited quirks for this. They can move at long distances without having to worry. So as well, that's Class 1A's teacher, Aizawa's guess. And let's see what actually happens. Now, as you agree, he is at the front. Lucky him. When they say start, Shoto tries to do the same thing, but his quirk somehow, malfunctions. That's what he thinks. The ice comes back at him along with everyone else, literally freezing everyone except for one person. Now, this person was Izuku. Of course, he's the main character. Now, he is running at pretty fast speeds due to the fact that he is quite fast. He is trained for this. He is running quite fast, and he has quite the head start. President Mike says, would you look at that? Class 1A Shoto Todoroki's quirk has gone back and messed himself up along with everyone else. But look at this. First place, Izuku Midoriya. Aizawa says, interesting. But then eventually, Todoroki, Bakugo, and Kai Shisaki break out of the ice. Bakugo using his explosions, Todoroki using his heat, and Kai/female Overhaul used her Overhaul quirk just to transfer the ice to somewhere else, be that on Ida and Floppy, due to the fact that they have somewhat of speed-enhancing quirks. Now, soon enough, Todoroki goes past Izuku, then Bakugo, then Kai, but most other people are frozen still. So those three encountered the first obstacle, being the 6 0-pointers. Todoroki uses his ice to, create a giant to freeze 2 of them. Bakugo uses his all-for-one, one-for-all powered explosions to destroy one. And Kai Shisaki creates ice spikes out of the ground in piercing through 3. Now they simply go past these 0-pointers and off to the next obstacle. Now Izuku, when he comes up to this, he thinks, how can I do this? Most of the ground is blocked off, I'd have to climb. President Mike says over the speaker, would you look at that? Izuku Midoriya coming up to the blockade that the previous 3 had just made. How will he handle this? Izuku, he's running pretty fast and he doesn't even stop. He just starts running up one of the earth spikes that Kai made. And he says, would you look at that? He's just running up the spikes. And he runs up and he has to do a little jump to get on top of the 0-pointer due to the fact that it went straight through the chest, not not made a little ramp. Now he has to do a little bit of jumping, kind of swinging to get on top. But then he just jumps off the 0-pointer, President Mike goes, is this kid insane? He just jumped off a very tall place. I don't know how high they are. Is he gonna die? Did he plan to commit suicide on live TV? As I was going, I don't know what he's doing right now. I hope he's safe. Izuku is falling to the ground. For anyone who was watching it on a TV, the TV's cut to a commercial break. But then Izuku, he just hits the ground, but he rolls and continues running. Now I know that isn't how it actually works, but due to his quirk, he just made him survive. President Mike says, I can't bear to look at a student deciding to end it all. And Aizawa says, President Mike, he's fine. He says, how can you say that? He just jumped off such a high place. He's surely dead. Aizawa says, he's fine, look, he's running. He looks back and says, oh my god, Izuku Midoriya, 4th place, has survived that huge jump. Would you look at that? Yeah, the first three, they have crossed the little pillars thing with the deep ravine. Todoroki just making an ice bridge, Baku just flying over, and Kai just making a thing to push her up and then just land safely, and she just continues on. Now Izuku is approaching this and he says, well, the first three are off past that obstacle, but how will fourth place Izuku and Midoriya handle this? Izuku, when he's running, he doesn't slow down again. This is kind of worrying Prison Mike because it looks like he's going to a gap. But when he runs, he just simply, every single place he moves, he just stepping on another one. It doesn't even look like he's slowing down. In fact, it looks like he's going faster. Prison Mike's going, would you look at that? He's not even stopping there. Wow, Aizawa, you sure have amazing students. Says, yeah, I guess I do. But now, onto the first, second, and third. They're up to the minefield. What will they do? Todoroki just freezes over the mines, meaning they don't explode. Baku flies over, and Kai just simply moves them out of the way. And so it comes Baku first, Todoroki second, Kai third. Then Izuku, he eventually gets to the mines, and he just runs over them. It doesn't even blow up because of his quirk. It doesn't affect him. And fourth place is Izuku Midoriya. And would you look at that, most people are just breaking out the ice now, when first, second, third, and fourth have made it already. Well, Aizawa, that was quite an interesting obstacle course, wasn't it? But now, let's see what the next event is. Yeah, so I'm going to be ending it here because I have a question to ask anyone who actually watches this. The cavalry battle, most people just skip straight past it because, they just say, oh yeah, the main character wins, or he loses, doesn't matter. But I'm trying to add a little, exciting story to it. So I was wondering if I should add like a segment where it's a capture the flag, where it's a paintball match or something between two teams of 18. And they pretty much have to capture the flag, and whoever gets the highest score out of singular score for a person, they get on to the next round. This score is measured by how many people you take down, how many times you get shot, and so on and so on. I'll describe it more if it actually happens. But yeah, so it's going to be part 2, What if Deku was a badass, so I hope y'all enjoyed. See ya.